Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you everyone for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Andrew Rocco and I'm the Senior Manager of Educational Content here at TradeStation. Today's Trading App Store Showcase will cover Larry Williams's Trading Day of the Month strategy. Before we start, please take a look at our disclosure. The following presentation is for educational purposes only. So I'll give everyone a few seconds to read over that disclosure. And I'm sure everyone knows who Larry is, but Larry's an absolute legend on Wall Street. He's been involved in markets longer than most of us have been alive. So he definitely has a lot of knowledge. Larry's indicators play a role in my personal trading strategies. So I'm very excited for this webinar. Larry, without further ado, take it away.
Okay, Andrew, thank you very much for the introduction. I appreciate that. I assume you can see my screen now. And I'm really happy to be here. Sorry about the delay in this, but I got hit with a really bad case of COVID when we were supposed to do this webinar originally. And man, it knocked me for a loop. So I had a few non-trading days of the month there, and I'm glad we're able to reschedule. I appreciate you guys doing that. A couple of things. If you have questions as we go along, please feel free to answer or ask those questions, and I'll try to answer them. I think it's better if we do it that way than to wait until the end and then all the questions, because I'd like to really be able to answer the questions as they come in, because they'll be germane to what I'm talking about. So what I'm going to be talking about is my trading day of the month concept. This is an idea really started many, many years ago, and I wasn't the first person to come up with the general idea. But again, that's something I've always wanted to do. These guys with those squirrel suits jump out of planes. That looks like a lot of fun, but it is risky. So that's my disclaimer as well. TradeStation already gave you mine. I think the picture is probably the best disclaimer you can get. Sometimes these guys die. But I will be talking about some real results today, as well as hypothetical performance. So please keep that in mind. Okay, this really is what I call the answering machine, my trading day of the month concept. What I'm going to teach you today is not just this trading day of the month and TradeStation, but a lot of stuff. You're going to learn about entry techniques, exit techniques, best stop losses and things. And I think even if you're not a TradeStation user, you're going to be able to find a lot of value. That's my hope. Okay, so the answering machine idea is to answer some questions about the market for us. And this answering machine in TradeStation for any stock or any commodity will tell us and let us test to find the best day of the month to buy or sell. You can do that by the best trading day of the month, or you can do it by any specific month. And this is where it really gets important. We program it so you can tell how long to hold the trade for. 1 day, 2 days. I'm going to give you some exit strategies. And also the maximum percent loss. It's a huge difference in trading stocks and commodities. And if you want to look at the dollar loss, that works really good in commodities. But in stocks, if you look at Apple years ago, because it's been readjusted, right, sold for 25 cents. So a stop loss of $1, you'll never get stopped out in it. So we can use a percentage stop loss, and I'll talk more about that. And then we can also look at the best day of the week, because clearly stocks usually bottom on Tuesdays. I mean, that going way back to 1962 when I first started trading, those bottoms came on Tuesdays. 1966, those bottoms came on Tuesdays. In the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the turn of the decade, 2000. Well, look where it bottomed last year in March. So the day of the week can also be significant. And we can answer those questions with the software, which is really nice. This is something that I've been using before. And I use it for my Larry TV when I was still publishing that. We had a lot of followers that just loved it. The historical background, really, Art Merrill came up with the idea that stocks rally at the end of the month or the first trading day of the month. And my dear, dear friend, Yale Hersher, is now 100 years old, also wrote about this idea. And then Norm Fosback focused on the first of the month rally. He thought that was a cat's pajamas. it's held up. But what I found is each month is different. I read a book years ago in relationships that said it was for women. It said not all men are created equally. And it went into the difference of emotions of how men are. And that struck me like, yeah, well, October we usually rally in stocks, and March we usually sell off in stocks. So could there be a difference in how the trading days of these months are? And what I found is, yeah, there's a huge difference. But what was missing to all this is exits. This is critical, critical. You could, I think, maybe almost roll a dice. Odd number will buy, even number will sell, and make money a little bit if you have a good exit technique. So exits are just really important. Oh, this is people are coming, tell me where they're from. That's great. Yeah, if you do have questions, let me know where you're from. I see a lot of names have come that I'm familiar with. It's great to see everybody. This has been such an interesting career for me because I'm in the third generation of some families. I finally decided it was time for me to stop. Last year I was teaching at a Traders Expo, and a kid came up to me, young kid, and he said, "Oh yeah, my grandfather said I just got to see your performance before you die." I thought, I've been doing this too long if that's why people are coming to see me. But we really have a lot of friends out there, and it's been great to get to know people. So the secret of getting in and getting out is really what so hard for traders is admitting defeat. We just don't like to admit that we're wrong. I love this quote. When we admit defeat, then God has a chance to save us from ourselves. And boy, traders need to be saved from ourselves. We're the ones that screw it up because we believe too much, we're afraid to get out, or we think they'll go for our stops or whatever, right? But the truth is, we have to have some absolute exit techniques. And I'm going to talk about those. We must admit defeat for a couple of reasons. One, just to save our own psychological state. When the money is gone, if we lose all our money, confidence is gone. And I'm telling you this, I've had big run-ups in the market. I've blown out in the market when I was younger. The worst thing a trader can lose is not money, it's confidence. I've seen traders with a little bit of money and a lot of confidence make a lot of money. And I've seen traders with a lot of money and no confidence who can't make anything at all. So you've got to save your bankroll and you've got to have your confidence. Those are two critical steps to being a successful trader. I mean, I have, great people from China. A dear friend of mine was an extremely large trader. Won't tell you the market because it's too much of a giveaway, but he was one of the largest traders ever in the history of commodities. And we're a very confident guy, almost cocky, not cocky, but confident. He had a relative who tried to do what he did, and he just knew right away this guy had no confidence. And that was the difference between those traders. One was incredibly successful, one wasn't. So when we're going to get in, this is a really simple rule. This is the simplest rule you'll ever have. We're going to buy in the opening. Okay, that's it. For stocks, that means the day session opening. For futures, we're buying on the afternoon session opening. So we would be a buyer if we're buying the S&Ps at 7 o'clock tonight when it opens up. So that's going to be our entry. I hope that's clear enough to you. And if not, write a question about it. But the afternoon session opening, because that's how TradeStation, all the data providers now have it. We're going to buy on that night session opening. In the old days, when we had pit sessions, we bought on the day session opening, but that's changed now with electronic trading. So, and then we got to figure out how to get out. These are things I've looked at for an optimal exit strategy. Hold X number of days, wait till % R or some other indicator gets overbought or sold, look for X dollars of profit, use a trailing stop. I have tested these things religiously since the 1970s. A lot of time just testing those. And I found out what I discovered in 1985, bailout is still the best short-term exit. And I don't mind buying on the opening of the night session in the active markets. I'm talking bonds, gold, S&Ps, natural gas. Yeah, I'd be a little worried there. In a thin market, well, you might want to play it differently. But in the broad-based market, there's plenty of volume on those night session openings. And of course, somebody said about 10:30. Well, I'm in the Virgin Islands. I'm 1 hour ahead of New York, so the market's open at 7 o'clock my time, 7 p.m. my time. So my bailout strategy, there it is. What a great picture. That's bailing out. Okay. Those guys in the jet, they pull a plug, woof, away they go. Well, we can do that trading commodities. My bailout for very high accuracy is we're going to exit the first time the market opens with a profit. So our exit technique is open on the exit on the first profitable opening, FPO, I call that. First profitable opening, we're going to get out. That will give you very high accuracy, really high accuracy. Exit the first time the market opens with a profit X days after being in the trade 1 day, not counting our entry day. We can test that. It will have lower accuracy, but because we're in the trade longer, we'll make more money most all of the time. Now, trend is the basis of all profits. No trend, no profits. So what causes trend? Time. It takes time for a trend to happen. So the more time you can give your trades, the more potential profit you have. Your profit can be larger. Your accuracy may slip. I'm going to show you some examples of that. But trend is the basis of all profits, and that's a function of time. So I like to find trades that are good for more than just 1 day. The first time the market opens with a profit is very high accuracy. This does not mean you're in the trade only 1 day. I'm going to show that to you in a moment. You may be in the trade several days, but the first time you do get a profitable opening, pull that plug, whoa, way fly out of the jet, you're out. If the next day does not open above your entry price, you hold with your stop in place, hoping for a profitable opening in the next session. Now, here's an example of it. Here's an entry to buy on this day's opening, and the next day we didn't open profitably. We opened right where we opened the day before. So there was no profitable opening. Then our first profitable opening is up here, and we're out of the trade. So a lot of people think we're just in the trade for we're in today and we're out tomorrow. No, sometimes they might be in, let's say you bought on this opening over here, and you wait and wait, your stop's down here, and finally you get a profitable opening up here. So it doesn't mean you're going to get in and out the same day. Bailout exit the first time the market opens with a profit X days after 1 day in the trade. We're trying to hold longer here, see if this trade has legs to it. So not counting the entry day, and we can test this, which is really neat. You'll see examples where I'm going to test it. Oh yeah, for this market, we want to, at this particular trade, we want to hold for 1 day, or we want to hold for 5 or 6 days. You will usually see lower accuracy, but we'll make more money. Even if the next day opens with a profit, we still keep holding and hoping for one more day of the profitable trade. Now, here's an example. Here's our entry day. We had a profitable opening here, bought here, right? Opened up the next day with a profit. No, we got out over here. If your strategy said to hold for 4 days before you get a profitable opening, 1, 2, 3, oh, we get out over here. So again, because there's strong seasonal influences in the market, I believe. I wrote the first book about seasonal influences in commodities, first book ever, way back in 1970. And most of those seasonal patterns are still reliable. They're not perfect by any stretch of imagination, but they're a good guide to look for. I'm going to show you how to do that for some nice short-term trading opportunities. Okay, so how do you define market? The S&P 500, well, I would be trading the S&P 500, the mini contract. This is what I actually trade. Does your statistics show how many percent ROR? You will get into statistics in a moment, absolutely. So things I've tested to admit defeat, to acknowledge that I'm wrong. Trailing stops for my entry price. I tried that. Didn't work real well. Stop at the low of the entry day. That didn't work well. Sometimes it'll go down to the entry low and come right back up. Stop at the lowest low of the last X days tend to be too far away. A dollar stop loss from entry. So wherever you get in, you don't want to lose more than X number of dollars. And that's what I found was the best. Well, here's a question. If you want to buy on the second trading day of February, would that be at 7 p.m. on February? Would be after February 1st close. You would buy that night, on the night of February 1st. Okay, so bailout is the other half of the equation. So it's really this. We're going to exit at an X dollar stop loss. For stocks, though, we're going to use a percentage price because, as I pointed out, they back adjust all these stocks. So, at one point, Amazon was trading for nothing by today's dollars. So if you used a dollar stop loss, it wouldn't work. So we're going to use a percentage for individual stocks. And I'll show you how we can set that up in TradeStation. After all these years, from 1985 forward, I still cannot find a better short-term exit technique and entry technique than what I just taught you for short-term trading. And I don't know how many countless hours I poured on these computers trying to find better stuff. And yeah, I'm so blessed because so many of my students around the world do a lot of research. They share ideas with me, and we still can't get anything better than bailout. Half a bailout is first profitable opening or a holding opening or X dollar stop loss. That's it. For stocks, we're going to use a percentage. Futures are on margins, so a percent loss may be much more than we want to lose. Also, they don't go from $1 to 1,000 like stocks. Stocks are very different. Back adjusted, it looks like Apple was trading for 50 cents 25 years ago. So if you use a $1 stop, you'd never get stopped out. It wasn't relative to anything, which also means that, this question, will this be emailed to you? It won't be emailed, but you will be able to find it where all the knowledge of the world is these days, YouTube. So I believe it will be posted on YouTube. Some of you may be watching it on YouTube right now. So we're going to use a percentage in stocks, and also for stocks, because they show such low prices, usually the last 15 years is enough data to help us find these trades. Generally speaking, for futures, these are the stops I actually use in my own trading. S&P is about $2,200 per contract, bonds $1,600, gold $1,800, grains $9, currency is about $1,000, crude oil about $1,200. Those generally testing year in and year out have been pretty good stops to use for short-term traders. So there they are for you, based on my experience, my real trading. For stocks, the critical point here is to look at the price range the last 10 years, 15 years, to determine the stop and what percent of stop loss you want to affect. Usually it's going to be about 4 to 5%. So this is how we set it up. Even if you don't have TradeStation, you want to watch this because you'll learn how I look at the market from looking at the software. So we put the software into TradeStation, do a strategy insert, and put that on your chart. Okay. Now this is where it gets really interesting. We can test for longs or shorts, and I'm going to test in a moment. I'm going to show you some actual results. So a positive number 1 means we're going to just look for long trades. Trading day of the month, we can actually optimize that and go from 1 to 23. Some months sometimes have 23 trading days, so we'll optimize that. We're not going to use percent stops. We'll be looking at a future contract. So use a dollar stop loss. If we were short, we could say, looking for just sales with a -1, would have a stop loss for that. If we want to use percentage stop losses, we can put in whatever percentage we want and also optimize for that. There's our bailout delay. In this case, 0, we're going to enter on the first profitable opening. We want to test by day of the week? Not. If we want to test by month, we can, but in this case, we're not going to. We're going to test all months. And then you're going to click OK, and the computer will go do its thing. I'll get my charts in order here. Yeah. And you'll get buy and sell arrows. You'll see where you went long and where you got out. And you can adjust those to, I like a white background. A lot of people like a black background, so you can adjust those charts for you. Okay, and here's the power of testing. We can test all this stuff. This is so neat. We can do the calculations and do the tests. Here's an example. Let's test just the best trading day of the month for all months. So we have false for months. We're not testing any particular month. We're going to test from trading day 1 to 23. And we're going to use a dollar stop loss of $1,600. And this is for gold. So you gold traders, here you go for gold, okay? So all trading days, trading for the last, 20 years in gold, the best trading day in terms of dollars has been buying gold on the first trading day of the month, has made $56,000. Accuracy is not great at 67%. Where is this testing done? Inside TradeStation. Yes, this is the app you got at the TradeStation store, and then you can run it any stock, any commodity. So we see for gold, a lot of green here, right? At the first few trading days of the month. We see high accuracy, 70%, the 12th trading day of the month, but it's got reds on both sides. Then we get into trading day 14, 15. Oh, I like that a lot. A lot of green starts to come again. So generally speaking in gold, the first couple trading days of the month and around the middle of the month, trading day 14, 15 have been the best trading days of the month. But remember, Not all days are created equally. So we can then just go to TradeStation and say, well, okay, how about month by month? Well, you don't want to do it in May or July or October. The first trading day of the month hasn't been that good. It's been a killer for January, so for February and March. Really good for June. So now we've added another dimension to this, haven't we? Now we're looking at each month because months trade different. There's a seasonal pattern. Usually gold rallies in August and September. And so you can focus in on those months. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. Is that report from Portfolio Maestro? I don't know. This is the report that we developed to go with the software, and it gives you way more than you want to know. We'll look at some of it in a moment. This is what I want to know. I want to test days to hold that first trading day of the month that we look. So I can test day getting out zero first profitable opening, or hold it for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Oh, I make a lot of money on that first profitable opening with 77% accuracy. Hold for 3 days, I do pretty good, $67,000. But in this case, I need this app for Trade Navigator. No, it's not. We don't do anything with Trade Navigator anymore. So what we've learned is that first trading day of the month, the best strategy, take your profit and run. We made some money, but we didn't make as much by holding. So we can learn by testing. That's the beauty of this. You can test this stuff. So March is coming up, guys and gals. Let's look and find a gold trade for March. So I ran now just for the month of March for the last 19 years. And what I found is March, start to look at that. Trading day number one, not bad. Makes $4,300. Not a lot of money, but we get down to what we saw earlier. Trading day 15, 16, 17, 73% accuracy, making $18,000. So as a short-term trader, if I'm bullish on gold, coming into the 15th, 16th trading day, I'm going to start looking for an entry in the market. And I don't always take these either because I still want to see how the market is responding when it gets to this point. But I'm alerted right now in February. I've got a potential trading coming up about the 16th, not calendar day, trading day of the month in March, a potential buy. And then, holy cow, look at what happens at the end of the month. We only have had 16 years with 21 trading days, 12 years with 22 trading days, but look at the numbers there. So I'll want to count and see how many trading days we have. And then we'll be able to set up another short-term trade. Can you explain all gross loss from all net profit? Yeah, this is net profit. This is what you actually made had you done this. This is the potential all gross loss, all the losing trades. And over here we have someplace we have all average. I don't show the whole thing, but we also have where it'll show total dollars made excluding the losses. Point though, you got to be a little careful. Look at this closely. If we look over here at all max winning trades, we had, average losing trade is about $1,800. Average winning trade is $2,000. The largest winning trade was $16,000. So really that $18,000 most came from one trade. So it's not our accuracy is good in here, but it's not great. So I also look to make certain that this is based on one contract. Absolutely right. The type of testing you're kind of showing, yes, this is all done with TradeStation. So what I see as a trader is like, there's not a whole lot of opportunity. A little bit first trading day of the month, yeah, around trading day 15, but particularly at the end of the month. So if we look at that trade that we were looking at, that's how long do we want to hold the trade? Again, we can test that. First profit opening, zero, we're getting out as soon as we open the profit, or we hold 1, 2, 3. Oh, look, we go up. Our accuracy is still good, and we go from $7,000 to holding that trade to $18,000. So in this case, this trade has a little bit of legs to it. Now, after St. Patrick's Day, there's a pot of gold. Oh, you Irish people love that. I have to tell that to my Irish wife. Why is the max losing trade changing so much if it's set to a particular amount? Well, this may be in the S&Ps now, but you're going to notice it's all the max losing trade is the same. Max winning trades will vary, but the max loss should stay the same. And there's $30 in here for commission. Okay, so we look at that trade. So, well, can we test? Is there a better stop loss in this big stop we've been using? We're using a $2,500 stop loss. I like about an $1,800 stop loss for gold in here. But oh, look at this. We still have 73% accuracy, the same as we have with an $1,800 stop with only $1,100 stop. So I've learned that I've got a trade that has some legs to it, and I can use a pretty tight stop in this compared to the typical stop. Could you please show the slide with the strategy? Yeah, I think we're going to show one more of those, so bear with me. If not, we'll go back to that. How do you know those days are different and not just noise? How do you know they're not just noise? I'm going to show you in a moment. And clearly, some of these are just noise. I'm not going to defend that there isn't noise in the market. There's a lot of irrational activity in the market. But when I see 19, 20 years in a row, and I see that string of green or a string of red, and here's our best stop red, I go, yeah, I think it's more than just random activity. Okay, big question come in. So if the number looks great on the second and third day, does that mean we buy one day and hold 1 or 2 days? Well, what it really means for me, if I see that, I want to test it and see what's my, I'm not going to automatically, oh yeah, we'll just get on first problem. I want to test and see if it has legs. The more legs it has, think about this, the more days I can stay in the trade, the better the trade is. It's not just random noise, is it? If this trade is successful year after year for more than just a first profitable a pop in the market, I think I've got a real trade here. So trend is the basis of all profit. So why be so short term in the trade? Well, some of us are just basic Buddha nature to be short term traders, and most commodity traders can't hold for more than 9, 10 days. That's an eternity for commodity traders. It's just lifestyle choice. It's just personality. That's all. I'm in a position now in natural gas that for quite a while on the long side. But this is for short-term trading and people that are into short trading. That's all. Are these long or short trades? What I've been showing have been long trades in gold and in March. So how about selling in March? I'm not sure I'm reading this. First trading day of March is best for gold. Yeah, the first trading is pretty good. And around the middle of the month, we saw another good trade there. But it wasn't anything, just didn't like knock my socks off, right? So let's test for March and selling and see what happens in gold on the sell side. Yeah, great comment. Legs like a runner. The better legs, the more dollars you'll make. Yep. Can we use SLV or NQ? Sure, you can use any stock or any future, because remember, we have that ability in TradeStation, and I'm going to show you some on a stock in a moment. So here's March. Oh, well, look at this. We test selling short. Accuracy is not real good until we get around 8th and 9th trading day. Made $13,000, 76% accurate. So that's the seasonal sweet spot if we want to be a seller in March. So we can pick that up. Now, this is not a very demonstrative month. In fact, if we look at selling it short, and we can do that on TradeStation, this is the actual equity. So I really started working back here about 10 years ago. That seasonal pattern didn't work real well going from about 2000 into 2008, and I think that kicked in. So you get a better sense of like, well, yeah, how did this really do? How did this hold up? I'm a very visual person. I started as an art major in college, and I like to see things, the numbers that I don't mean that. I like to see, yeah, this is, okay. It's not a particularly strong trade, nothing I get really excited about. Why is it all net profit versus all gross loss? I'm only interested in the net profit. You can tabulate all sorts of stuff in the tabulations. I guess I should have shown all the possibilities TradeStation will let you see, but I want to see what my net profit is, what my average profit per trade is. Does mean a lot to me. Okay, we're going to look at some stocks now. Stocks have strong seasonal patterns that are based on earnings reporting. Seasonal sales, jewelry at Christmas usually starts to rally, comes down after the year. Coke rallies in the summertime. Mutual funds usually buy around the first of the month, just like Norman Fosback, Art Merrill, and Yale Hirsch taught us way back in the 1960s. And now around the middle of the month, they're adding. The strongest day in the stock market is around the 12th trading day of the month, month in, month out. That's a great time to look for a short-term rally. I think it's caused by the funds coming in buying at that time. So let's find our best trading day for Apple. An Apple a day. So here's stocks too. We're going to look at Apple all trading days of the month. Again, we're looking not month specific. And what we find, the 19th trading day has been the most successful. And look, we got 80% accuracy in this area. So if you're an Apple guy and you're looking to position yourself in the market, the 18th trading day has been a pretty good time to do it. That's when most short-term trades have been the most successful. Look at that, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. We don't see that any other place. So now we have a little bit of insight about Apple that you didn't know before this webinar began. Question, when testing for 19 years, TDOM, is there any impact to the change of electronic markets for SPIT? No. In futures, the electronic market, we're going back about 20 years, so we're okay with that. What does all the gross loss mean? This is all the losing trades. That's what your losing trades would have been. This is the net profit. This again is all I think that matters. This is what you would have made. The net profit is over, or the gross profit is over here someplace. Gross profit minus gross loss equals that number. I hope that helps. How much is the point of entry? What's the size of the stock? In this case, we're doing 100 shares. And you can set it for 1 share or 100 shares, whatever you want to set it at. Well, how about Apple for March? So we're going to set it for longs +1. Trading day of the month, we're going to optimize from 1 to 23%. Stop loss, I don't know what to use. We'll use 5%. And we're going to test just the month of March. Okay. And then we're going to test and see how we did. Oh, I go back. Okay, all best. Okay, we got the best trading days of the month for March. As trading day 6 pops up, but I don't like that. There's a lot of red around it. Trading day 17, 18. Oh, that looks a little bit better because 90% of those trades have been successful. So I'm going to focus on this time period, and then I'm going to say, what's my best stop? 4%, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9%. Well, notice that once we get to 6% stop, we have the same profit on all those trades. So we say, probably 6% stop would be our best stop. How would you leverage this information for options? I'm not an option trader guy. You could do options, but that's, what I think I have here is a setup, a tool you can use in a variety of ways. The way I use it is I'm just an old-fashioned trader, but clearly you could do options on this as well, but you're going to have to figure out the leverage and how you do that, okay? And so we're going to look at the trading day of month 16 for March. That's a good trading day to buy. And how many days we hold it? Well, we get 100% accuracy. Trading first profit opening, waiting a day, another day, makes $740. But if we go out to 5 days, we almost more than double the profit from the trade. Can this be used with intermarket forecast seasonal tendencies? Intermarket forecast, no, it can only be used on one particular stock or commodity. Okay, but again, now we went, I know what my stop should be, about 4%. I know in this trade, if I want to maximize my gain, it got legs to it, doesn't it? Look at that. Trade 0, 1, 2, 3, they all made money. In fact, the longer I held, $400, $800, $700, $800. So this is a trade that's got legs to it. So that's an interesting trade for me. We'll be covering the S&P E-minis. I imagine I will be. I don't remember what all is on the PowerPoint, but we'll probably get to that. So one way to find trades, I want to teach this to you. We're going to search for seasonal highs and lows. Then run the trading day strategy on those months, okay? So here's the IBM seasonal pattern. IBM usually starts to rally in November. This is the red lines, it's seasonal pattern. So we could start looking at where do we want to buy in November, or if you were looking for sells, where do we want to sell? Usually it starts to come down in July, August. So we can find, there's a seasonal sweet spot here. How do I want to handle that? What trading day of the month is going to be the best? So this will help you focus in on your seasonal pattern. How far back you can run the test, as far back as you have data. As far back as you have reliable data, always check your data and watch out again for, some stocks sold for 10 cents years ago and now they're at 1,000. So you have to watch out for that, okay? Can we use the software to find the seasonal pattern? Yeah, we do have a seasonal pattern in TradeStation that's called the True Seasonal. So that's there. Do you use planetary line? I don't even know what planetary lines are. I don't believe in support and resistance either. Yeah, in the 60s and 70s, I did a lot of work on support resistance. And I found support sometimes held, sometimes it didn't. It was a flip of a coin. So, I was not smart enough to figure out how to use all those lines. I found the more lines I got in my chart, the more assurance that something would happen on one of those lines, but those lines never consistently held up. When zero used as the first trading day of the month, no, you have to use one as the first trading day of the month, and we'll test the first trading day of the month. Zero is used for bailout. Are you going to exit on the first profitable opening? That would be zero. What about magnet prices? That's a whole different thing. Magnet prices are great, Rick, as you know, but that's not part of this particular software. Okay. What do you think of VWAP, volume weighted average? You know what, guys? I haven't found much use to volume. Now, a lot of people have, they swear by it. For 12 months of my life, I did nothing but study volume. That's all that I studied. And at the end of those 12 months, I really didn't have anything better than what we'd learned about on balance volume and looking for divergences. And again, maybe I'm just not smart. Obviously, wasn't smart enough to crack. I didn't get any great value out of it. Sometimes big volume meant a lot. Sometimes it didn't. That's probably a reason why, because a mutual fund might swap a share of stock, a big block of stock, with another mutual fund, and there's not true volume, not true buying or true supply demand. It's just a swap. And in futures, I mean, maybe you'll be selling the distance and buying the nearbys because you got a great spread trade. So that volume out there that looks like selling, not really selling volume. So I couldn't get that much out of it. Sorry. These trades are not mechanical. What did you mean by that? Well, these you can make them mechanical. Like these trades are going to buy on the first, I forget what day, the 16th trading day in March, hold for 5 days, get out on the first profitable opening after being trade 5 days. That's the rule. Most of us, though, will say, the market's really strong here. I want to get earlier. You can adapt your trading style around this. What this does, it kind of tells us where the golden Easter egg is hidden each month. Oh, this month, the Easter egg is hidden over here. That's where the gold egg is. Then I can focus my attention on that as a trader, or if you want to trade it mechanically, you can do it mechanically. So it's up to you. Yes, our true seasonal is in stockchart.com. Do you see gold continue to decline? Yeah, I think gold is going to continue to decline. That was my forecast report we issued at the first of the year. I forget when it declined to April 24th. I'm making that number up. I don't recall. I don't have all that in front of me. I do not count weekends. No, I don't. Okay, so we found we see IBM usually rallies in November, usually declines in mid-July. Can we use that to our advantage? Yeah. Here we're going to test IBM in July. Trading day 1 through 24, or it should be 1 through 23. The trust we're going to test in November, the 11th month. Okay. And we run it. So, look at that. Trading day 19 in the last 12 years, trading day 17, all those trades were successful. So we just found a great opportunity in IBM. Trading day 18, 19, 20, trading day 9 is not bad. A lot of green here. The numbers get smaller, but there is where the golden Easter egg is hidden in IBM in November. We just found it. Now you know where it is. Then there's a lot of stuff we can do with that. How long do we want to hold the trade? What should our stop be for the trade? You could even test, is it better to buy if it's a Monday or if it's a Tuesday on that 19th trading day? That's why I call it the answering machine. You can ask those questions and figure out when the best time is. So I apparently don't have the data here for the S&Ps, but the same thing, S&Ps has really strong seasonal pattern. Those who subscribe to my Larry TV know. We took those trades. Well, you've seen my trades on Jim Cramer's Mad Money. Those are trading day of the month trades often. We had one in Amazon last time I was on Mad Money based on trading day of the month, seasonal pattern, intermarket relationship. Amazon's gone up, 300 points or something since where we had our buy in it. Okay, a couple of questions have come in. Do you know where to find True Seasonal Indicator TradeStation? The True Seasonal Indicator is one of the App Store. It's one of our products. The difference between My seasonal, everybody else's seasonal, we'll go back to that for a moment, is this is the seasonal pattern IBM up to this point in time. If you go back in IBM, it will look different. What everybody else does is they create this year's seasonal pattern, but they push the data all the way back. They're using data from now to show the seasonal pattern IBM in 1987, but they're using data out of sample. So if you start studying the markets, looking at how do I want to be a buyer in 1992, you're getting a really erroneous concept because they're using data from 1992 forward. My true seasonal pattern only uses data up to here, and it doesn't push the data back in time. Has there been anything to learn of seasonality in digital assets? You don't really have enough time frame, I don't think, in digital assets. I like to have 10, 15 years data. So there's some things you can, in my more sophisticated programming that I can get some insights, but really not a lot. How to know trade? The TradeStation software is programmed to do a test look back for all commodities, even beyond data. Yeah, you can test back as far as you have the data with the answering with our software. What's the difference between Williams true seasonal versus cycle forecast? True seasonal is just this is what has happened on average every year. This red line in IBM. I do have a cycle forecast that uses the last 66 days of data, looking at a short-term, intermediate, and longer-term cycle, and makes a cyclical forecast based on the average of these cycles. So it's a cycle forecast that has nothing to do with seasonals. How to reach the seasonal chart between the black chart and the red line? Yeah, all I'm saying is like, look, usually we usually rallied at this time period over here, right? That's November. And we usually have declined from here. And I just marked off, well, usually we've declined from here to here. I want to study those days for best trading day of the month sells. Here, I want to study these days for the best trading day of the month buys. So it's just a great way if you have a stock you like, say, oh yeah, how could I trade? What's the seasonal pattern this month? It might be flat, like in here. There's not much of anything. So we're probably not going to find that golden Easter egg. IBM usually rallies. No, we did that slide. Okay, what I hope you learned really a great takeaway of the best exit strategies. The bailout is just marvelous. Test it to see if it has legs and have a dollar stop loss or percentage. And that all days and all months are not the same, that they are different. They have different patterns, and we can find those out. We can find the best trading days of any month and how to determine the best risk and the best hold values. If you're interested in it, this is in TradeStation App Store. It's Larry Williams Trading Day of the Month Strategy. There's a PDF available to download from the store that will walk you through it, put it up, give you examples of it. Thanks, Malin. That's very kind. You offer a free trial? I don't think we offer a free trial. I am so fed up with tire kickers. Excuse me for saying that, but you know how many emails I get every day? People asking for money, want this, want that. I mean, you know what? I think it's $50 a month. I don't even know what we charge for it. If you don't like it after a month, cancel it. I mean, if you are afraid to take a $50 risk, you shouldn't be trading futures, period. Okay, so my answering machine awaits you. Good luck and good trading to you. If you have any additional questions, you can contact customer service at howtoretrade.com. I will stay here for a moment also to answer your questions. I see a lot have come in. The Mount Sinai book. Yeah, that's going to be made into a movie. I talked to producers this week, and we still think they're going to make a movie out of that. Let's see. What about technical indicators that signal buy or sell? Well, James, great question. There's a lot of indicators you can use for buy or selling. On YouTube, you'll see some videos I've done about using indicators, how to use indicators. I'd suggest you go there and look at that. You might learn a little bit from that. Thanks. Yeah, I am feeling a lot better now. I'm not nearly as tired as I was. That's for sure. Thank you guys very much. Is there a way to determine where future stops are being placed? Well, people usually place their stops right below the lowest low of the last 3 or 4 days. That's what most traders do. So think about what other traders would be doing. Oh, I appreciate the comments. My gosh. Any plans for the future for a pared down Larry TV? No. I want to trade, and I'm 78 years old, and I don't have the energy that I used to have. No, I think there's a lot of great young people out here, and let's see what they can do. Okay. Oh, Darlene Harvey. Hi, Darlene. How's things in Australia? We've got friends from all over the world here. Hey, Rob, are you going to write a memoir? I don't have much of a memoir to write about. Thanks, Zach, very much. Yeah, Phil, shout out to Rush Limbaugh. Okay. Oh, on your 195 seasonal forecast, I made 2,000 in less than 10 days. That's great. Yeah, hopefully this is one lesson you can get from this is a 6% exit strategy specific to Apple. Yeah. Again, the nice thing we can test now. You can see what your best stop should be. You want to test this stuff. Do you have seasonal data on bond yields? It depends on your data provider. It depends on what TradeStation has. Yeah, Todd, boy, I agree with you on that comment. Thank you. So the markets are not totally predictable. And anybody tells you they are, I think that, they're off base. But often they are. And we can get a pretty good roadmap, a pretty good idea of what should happen. Now, this is the way you really use all this stuff. So you find a trading day of the month 17 and the S&Ps and it rallies. Well, somebody in the S&Ps, the 19th trading day of October is almost always rallied in the E-mini S&Ps. It's a phenomenal trading day of the month, okay? In fact, when I used to do my $1 million challenge, some of you went to that, I traded $1 million in front of people, and I always held a seminar around the 19th trading day of October because I knew that was a sweet trade. And I traded that substantially. We made over $1 million in those seminars. We gave away 20% of the profits to the people. So that's an example. And I will find those, and then I can focus in on those trading days of the month. Will these always work? No. But as you get to the market is diverging, it should be in an uptrend, and you want to look for a buy on X trading day of the month, and it's in a straight downtrend. You say, well, probably not this year. Let's wait till we're congruent with everything that we have in the market. That's all. This just helps us focus. And then as the time period arrives, we can take a look and say, oh, yeah, hot dang, we're right there. I'm still trying to understand entries based on using the app to find the best trading day of the month. Sure. So the app tells us the best trading day of the month is trading day 4. So we're going to buy on the opening of trading day 4. That's our entry. If it's a future contract, we'll be buying on the evening opening. If it's a non-futures contract, we'll be buying on the fifth session open. That's it. Can you just use a monthly? No, we want to do this on daily charts. We've got to do this on daily. It works on daily charts. Okay, another question. There's a leg. So the green is you sold. The green is actually shows the arrows on the chart will show you where you bought it, where you got out, and if you made money, it's a green line. You lost money, it's a red line. Can you please show again the slide with recommended stop loss in dollar terms? I'll just write these down, Mohammed. S&P's $2,200, gold $1,800, S&P $1,600, energy is about $1,200, grains about $900. Would you be willing to do a seminar? I know I've done so many seminars. You guys have heard my story all the time. There is a written version. If you do subscribe to it in the App Store, there's a written version that explains all this too. Can we follow your trades? No, not anymore. People used to, but what do I have left? Another 9-10 years? There's got to be more to life than just publishing buy and sell signals. It sounds like you do a lot of algorithmic trading. I do. In fact, you should know about this. I do mechanical trading. These are real trades. They're traded out of Robbins brokerage firm. My daughter is also doing a day trading strategy there. These are totally mechanical, and they've made a lot of money. I think Page was up 80% last year and about the same the year before. My S&P system has averaged about 40% a year on the big contract. And it is based, not all my rules, but it is based largely on seasonal patterns in the market. You look at the signals, if I showed you what the rules are, I go, wow, trading day of the month, trading day of the year, seasonal trades, seasonal trades. They don't always hold up, but they got a pretty doggone good record of holding up. So fancy mathematical formulas, this exponential moving average, that moving, I didn't find that those held up very well. I like to look at little patterns. Oh my gosh. Thank you, John. What's the intermarket relationship of cocoa and natural gas? Those are, I don't know. I'd have to go study that. That's, I don't know. There is paid access to Larry TV archives. If you're a Larry TV person, you can look at all the old presentations I did. Oh, thanks for the kind comments. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you for being here. I think we've run out of both of the questions. What about trading holding for months? Well, that would be a trend trader, not short-term trading. There are ways to do that. We talk about that in our courses. Right now, the ES is up every day. So how to pick the first positive trading day as a side note. Hope you have more than 10 years. I think I'll put it to how about only 20, 30 years. Well, that's what my plan is. But, you never know what's going to happen. I'll tell you, when I had COVID, I was like, whoa, where did that plane went out the window for a while. I don't know what the particular trading days of the month are for February. I think we start to get into some bullish ones. My annual forecast report says we should continue still moving straight up. I think maybe April we're going to see a significant pullback in the market. And that'll be probably next watch Mad Money Monday. You'll find out a little bit more about that. Yes, I still pay attention to this commitment trader report. That's the base of everything I've ever done. Just for my information, my signal chart says if your seasonal TDOMs are a go, you'll be able to see. I'll send. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, well, I think I've probably worn out my welcome and everybody has learned whatever I had to teach today. I hope you did learn some things, irrespective of whether you ever use TradeStation or not. I like to give value. I hope that you learned a little bit about exit strategies, which ones work, which ones I found to be the best. And I hope that's it. So I'd like to wish all of you good luck and good trading. And I really appreciate the kind comments. And oh my gosh, it just touches my heart to see people from all over the world. Thank you so much for the support over all these years. Again, good luck and good trading.
Thank you so much, Larry. That was fantastic, and we're all glad that you're feeling better. Wanted to let everyone know who is watching the webinar, if you're interested in some free content, we do have the Getting Started channel with TradeStation, so definitely check that out. You could get more accustomed to the TradeStation software and how that works. We also have the masterclass online. So if you're looking to take your trading to another level as far as education goes, you can go to our masterclass channel where we cover everything from high-level technical analysis to easy language programming. So definitely worth checking that out. We do have a 14-day free trial for that. And this is where you can find the App Store. So if you want to find any of Larry's apps or just the TradeStation App Store in general, you can find it at that link right there. I'll just give you a second to look at that. And again, thank you everyone so much for joining us. The link will be posted to YouTube. So please go and check that out to watch it again. And thanks again to Larry for doing this fantastic webinar. Have a great evening, everyone.
Andrew, thank you. I'm going to back out now.
Thanks, Larry. Have a great night.
Thanks again very much for the help today. Thank you.